I believe we're on Perek Gimel, Mishnah Hey. Rav Nechunya ben Hakaneh Omer Kol Makabel Alav Ol Torah Ma'avirin Mimenu Ol Malchut Ve'Ol Derech Eretz. If someone accepts upon himself the yoke, the responsibility to learn Torah and to live a life of Torah, God will help them by getting the government pressure off of him, Ol Malchut, and Derech Eretz, the financial burden off of him as well. Again, this is one of those things we don't take exactly literally. It's not like everyone who keeps Torah will not have to have a job. Obviously he will, but God will watch over him more. If you remove from yourself the yoke, the responsibility of Torah, both learning Torah and keeping Torah, you'll have other olot, you'll have other burdens on you. The malchut, that of your civic responsibility to people around you, and the responsibility to support and financial support. Again, this is not to be taken literally. It's not like someone who keeps Torah, he'll have money and the other one won't. It's obviously not exactly true, but God will watch over you more in that sense. Rabbi Chalafta ben Dosa, ish kfar Chananya omer, asara sheyoshvim ve'oskim b'Torah, shchina shruya b'neim. The 10 people sitting and learning Torah and involved in Torah, that God is among them. All these groups of even one person, if you're osek b'Torah, God is with you. Your life is elevated, you have a spiritual life, and God pays more attention to you. Starts off with 10 people, and then even 5 people, even 3 people, even 2 people, and even one person who learns Torah, God pays a lot of attention to that person. Rabbi Lazar Ish Bar Tota Omer, Ten lo mishalo shata v'shalcha shalo. Give God back what is his, because you are his, and everything that you have is really God's. Meaning your attitude in life should be that everything you have is a gift from God, and anything you expend, everything you do and give of yourself, give of your time, give of your money towards either God or a Jewish cause or a godly cause, you're just giving back. It's not yours. Understand that everything you're given is a gift from God, and therefore you're on borrowed time, you're on borrowed money. Everything is you're just giving back to him what he gave to you, and has a pasuk. Rab Shimon Omer Hamalech Baderech B'Shomeh. If you are walking and you're learning while you're walking, Umafsik mi Mishnato Ve'Omer Mishnato. You stop in the middle of learning. Ve'Omer Mana'ed Ilan Zeh, and you say, "Wow, this is a beautiful tree." Mana'ed Nir Zeh, or this is a beautiful pile of dirt or a beautiful hill. In other words, Ma'ala Allah Katuv Kilu Mitchayev B'Nafsho. A very difficult Mishnah if you take it at face value. Literally, it means if you interrupt your learning to notice nature, you're a horrible person. And that's not really what it means. But we live in a world where we're always distracted, and we're always easy to get distracted. And we don't concentrate enough on our learning Torah, or our tefillah itself, or anything spiritual. We think, look, okay, wow, this is a beautiful tree. We should give primary attention to what we're doing. We know when we study for something and we have a deadline, we don't want anyone to bother us. Hey, Ma, don't tell me this. Don't bother me now. This is something we should, when we're learning Torah, we should always have that kind of concentration and attention and not be easily distracted. It's not a dig on nature and trees and mountains. It's a dig on the way we treat Torah and the way our attitude while we're learning Torah. Again, one of these Mishnah, if you take it literally, it's scary and crazy, but you can't take it literally. If you forget anything you learned, so you're like chayav mita. You deserve to die if you forget anything you learned, which is a crazy statement, and we have to explain it. I would think that also applies to someone who just forgot. You learned so much and you slipped your mind what you were learning. You're only chayav mita, so to speak, meaning a bad punishment. God will treat you evilly. It's not to be taken literally. You're chayav. God will kill you for that. But only if you go ahead and you purposely forget things. Now, obviously, if you purposely forget things, you're not treating your Torah properly. But I believe it also applies to 2 kinds of situations. One situation where a person never really learned it well enough. It's in one ear and out the other ear. You sat down, you memorized something, you take a test, and that's it. If that's the way you treat your Torah, you're not treating it properly. You're not treating it respectfully. But more than that, when you sit down to learn something and you really believe it's part of your spiritual existence and improves you as a person, improves you as a Jew, you'll go out of your way to really, really know it really well. And if you don't give it that attention, or you're easily distracted like the previous Mishnah, and you don't give it the proper attention, then you're basically trying to forget it. You're not treating it properly. And the other thing is that if you don't treat it respectfully, things that we understand, things that we make sense to us, we tend to remember better. If you hit a Mishnah, you hit a Gemara, you hit a Halakha, and you don't understand it, you say, okay, I'm going to move on, I'm not going to try to understand it. Then you're basically saying you're going to forget it and you're not going to pay attention to it. You have to give it the respect and the attitude that this is right. I want to understand it. And the more you put your mind to understanding it, the more you're going to remember it. And if you don't put your mind to understanding it, you're basically trying to forget it. Those are three explanations to that. Mishnah Tet. We've had a number of these. If a person first and foremost is a religious person who cares and is nervous about doing the wrong thing, about doing an avirah, and that comes before your chokhmah, your learning of Torah, then your Torah will stick with you because you're primarily a religious fellow, primarily a religious person, and you also learn Torah, your Torah will stick with you. But if your Torah is what you're about, I want to know more Torah, I want to be a big Talmid Chacham, I want to know Torah, I want to show off what I know, etc. But your Yirat Shamayim and your Yirat Chait, you're not so careful about doing the right thing, doing the wrong thing, then your chokhmah, your Torah will not really stay with you. It's not something you really respect, because part of Torah is a religious personality, is a person who cares about not doing the wrong thing. And similarly, the flip side, kol shema asav merubim michokhmato. If your mitzvot aseh, this is more mitzvot lo taseh, the first part, and then me'asav, if you do good for other people and you give tzedakah and you make sure to do mitzvot aseh and all these good things, if that comes before your chokhmah, then your chokhmah will stay with you, because you're basically a religious person. And if your chokhmah, if your learning of Torah comes first, and that's all you care about, and you don't do so many mitzvot, then your chokhmah, your Torah, will not really stay with you. It's not really important to you. It will slip your mind, quite literally. Kol sheruach habriot nochaim, and if people like you, ruach hamakom nochaim, and if God likes you. But if people don't like you, and if people look at you and say, oh, look at his face, look at the way he talks, look at the way he dislikes people, look at him, he's always angry, and people don't want to be around you, God doesn't want to be around you. You could measure how spiritual a person is by how people feel like they want to be around him. If a person is bubbly and happy, and people like to be around him, then chances are God wants to be around him too. These four things, Vishivat Batei Knesset Shel Amei Haaretz, these four things, which I'll explain in a second, Motzinat Adam Min Haolam, they cause someone to die, literally. Or in other words, your life is not worth much. All of these are not to be taken literally, that you will die as a result of this. What are these four things? Someone who sleeps in the morning, literally, if you take it literally, that's a crazy statement. You sleep in the morning, you're going to die. Yain Tzarayim, you drink wine in the afternoon, you're going to die. Sichat Eladim, you spend your time talking silly things with little kids and not serious things with little kids and not serious things with adults. You're going to die for that? Really? That's hard. We have to explain all this. Yeshivat Batei Knesset Shel Amei Haaretz, and you sit in shul with a bunch of people who don't care about shul, and all they care about is talking about this gossip and that gossip and this stuff. Then all these things cause you to leave the world. But all of these things have a common thread, that all of them are missed opportunities. The morning, I am the most aware and awake in the morning. And if I waste that away by sleeping, obviously if I didn't sleep the night before, we're not talking about that. I had a good night's sleep, and I go back to sleep in the morning. That's a waste of a productive morning. You take an opportunity and you waste it. Yain shel tzaharayim. So you have a little less attentive in the afternoon, and then you go and drink some wine. You're going to be even less attentive. You're missing a great opportunity. Sichat hayeladim. You talk silly stuff about TV shows or about just silly stuff, not things that are bad. Just that's how you spend your time talking to kids. Talk to kids about positive things. Talk to them about morals. Talk to them about standards, etc. It's a missed opportunity. And going to shul and not praying, going to shul and hanging out and talking gossip, missed opportunity. All these things are things that take away from your life. It doesn't mean you're actually going to die, but it takes away from your life. Similarly, Mishnah Yud Aleph, Rabbi Elazar Hamodai Omer HaMechalel et HaKodashim. Someone took a korban and he ate it either outside the Beit HaMikdash or he ate it at the wrong time. You're only supposed to eat it, let's say, for 2 days for a certain korbanot. You eat it on the third day. You're a mechalel. You cause a chilul. You cause a desecration to that holy thing. Again, a great holy thing, and you ruined it. You take Shabbat and you desecrate it, either by what you do or by what you don't do. You don't take advantage of the holy moment of the Chag or the holy moment of Shabbat, and you waste it away, either because you do an actual desecration, you do a violation on Shabbat, or because you don't use it properly to learn Torah, to connect with your family, to connect with your friends in a proper way on Shabbat, on Yom Tov. Then you're missing it. You're mevazeh. You missed the opportunity, but you turned it around. Not just a missed opportunity here. You ruined it. You denigrated it. You had the opportunity to talk nicely to your friend and to make them feel good about themselves. Instead, you embarrassed your friend. You took an opportunity and you ruined it. You actually did the opposite. You took a brit milah, a boy has a brit milah, and then he surgically has it covered over. He's taking the brit milah and he's desecrating it. He's covering it over. He doesn't want anyone to know. And then you start saying things about Torah that aren't true, but you think they're true, or you want it to be true, and you start teaching people the wrong thing. You go against the way we understand the pasuk, or the way we understand the halacha. You are ruining that halacha. You're desecrating it, and that's a terrible thing. Even if you're a good religious Jew, but you do these things or one of these things, obviously you could do tshuva for that. You could repent from that, but you're ruining your chances in the world to come. You should be very light on your feet when it comes to a head of something, or meaning a person who is very experienced, a person who is an older person. You should jump up to help them. Someone who has black hair, someone who is younger, you can be a little calmer around them and not jump up and do everything they want. Do everything the experienced older person wants, but the person who's not so old and who has black hair, who's a young person, you don't have to rush to help them as much. You should basically treat people a little differently in terms of the respect. And but no one should be greeted with sadness. Everyone should be greeted with happiness. Similarly, Rabbi Akiva Omer Schok, if you are involved very much in joking around with a person of the opposite sex, or you're very, you just joke around or say flippant things to them, that will lead to bad things between the sexes, between you and that person. Masoret Siag Torah, someone who understands that Torah is all about tradition. I can't make up my own things. That will protect my Torah. That will protect what I know about Torah, because I understand I have to learn from an older person. I have to learn from other people and understand that it's all about tradition and not just about what I think it means. Okay, Ma'asrot Siag La'osher, if a person gives a lot of tzedakah, he will get richer. Ma'asrot, you give ma'aser, a tenth of your money, that will make you ashir, that will make you richer. Nidarim, sagla prishut. If you want to be a person who stays away from avirot, and you make nidarim, you say, listen, around this person I'm always bad. I always tell Lashon Hara about this person. I'm always tempted to cheat or to do things around this person. Then make a neder to stay away from that person, and that will help you be a poresh. That will help you do the right thing and stay away from things you shouldn't do. And siag lechochma shtika. A very important siag means a fence around all these things. A very important way to protect your knowledge is to be quiet. People often think I have to say something to show I'm smart, and often shtika is the way to show that you're really smart. You go to someone who's mourning, it's not about telling him how they should feel better. They lost this, or they lost a person, or they lost something very valuable. You just sit there and be with them. That's really the most important thing. Hu haya omer Chaviv Adam Shenivra B'Tselem. We were created B'Tselem Elokim, and that shows that God loves us. God showed us how much He loved us because He gave us B'Tselem Elokim. Chavivim Yisrael Shenikrim Banim L'Makom. We are precious to God. God called us His children, and all Jews are special that way. Chavivim Yisrael Shenatan Lem Klei Chamda, and Hashem gave us the Torah. 3 things that every person should feel special because they have B'Tselem Elokim. Every Jew should feel special because he's called God's child, and every Jew should feel special because we have the Torah and God watches and God cares about what we do. These 2 next Mishnayot are connected to each other. Hakol Natun Be'era. I'm sorry, Harishut Natuna. Sorry, I skipped. Hakol tzafui v'harashut between. These are two concepts. I'm not going to finish this.